When I first saw the title of this episode, I was expecting a cheesy but fun Power Rangers episode that, if nothing else, would be as much of a good watch as last week's episode, The Perfect Storm, was. Unfortunately, while this episode has its fair share of fun moments, it is also a contender for the worst episode of the season so far. The episode opens with Jake meeting Noah after school and waiting for him to finish an assignment so they can go to Ernie's. As Noah finishes, Jake says he can hit the goalpost through the window, impressing Noah with his skill when he does so. In space, Vakar is yelling about how the Rangers have consistently walked through every commander the Armada has thrown at them, and charges Levira to come up with a plan to defeat the Rangers. On the soccer field, Jake kicks some soccer balls into recycling bins as Noah films it with his camera. Back in space, Vakar orders his new butler, Invidious, to get him some tea and, well...
Huh? Levira! It is her!
Nice, love that.
What are they up to, those Rangers?
After all these years, to see her again! Oh, it sets my heart racing! My childhood crush, Levira, is actually here! What are the odds? It must be fate! I missed my chance when we were young, Levira, but I won't miss it this time. You will fall for the first person you see, which will be me.
Oh boy, it's one of these stories. Invidious gives Levira her tea and is happy thinking his plan was successful, but Levira actually fell in love with Jake because she was watching him on the monitor, so she orders Invidious to capture him. While cleaning up the soccer field, Jake is attacked by Invidious and some X-Borgs, with Noah trying to fight off the X-Borgs, but they keep ignoring him, only going after Jake. After failing to distract the X-Borgs, Noah calls for backup, and the two morph just as the other Rangers arrive. Noah informs the others of the situation, and the team comes face to face with Invidious and goes super to take on the attacking X-Borgs. During the fight, the Rangers morph into Mighty Morphin and take the X-Borgs down, Troy being able to send Invidious running by striking him with the Power Sword. Invidious goes to get reinforcements but finds Levira pining for Jake and is so consumed with grief that he decides to sulk in a collection of garbage. Invidious then becomes jealous of Jake, vowing to make him pay for taking Levira away. Meanwhile, the Rangers demorph and talk about why the Armada would want to capture Jake, who thinks he should be safe if the team just sticks together, at which point Invidious shows up and attacks him, much to the shock of Levira, who is watching on the monitor. Invidious tries to blast Jake with his fire, but it is blocked by Levira, and Invidious tells her to get out of the way, but she refuses. Invidious tries to blast Jake again, but Levira repeatedly dodges the attacks, while tossing Jake around like the dummy that he's totally not in this scene. I don't know why you would even suggest that. As the other Rangers in the car watch the insanity that is unfolding before them, they piece together what's really going on as Jake tries to get away from the crazed Levira and the jealous Invidious. It is only until after Levira and Jake ask them to do something that the Rangers morph into action, distracting Invidious long enough for Jake to get away from Levira and morph himself.
I'm not your love. I like someone else. Sorry.
We all know who that is.
Nobody will get between us!
Oh yeah? We will.
You got that right. Let's power up! Super Mega Mode!
The Rangers strike down Invidious and shift into turbos to knock him back, but Levira continues to chase after Jake, prompting Vakar to cause Invidious to grow in an effort to end the madness. Jake tells Invidious to stop being jealous and just ask Levira out on a date, which he does, causing Levira to fall in love with him instead of Jake. Invidious asks what he can do to make Levira happy, and she tells him in the most loving voice to destroy the Rangers. Realizing that Jake's plan backfired, the Rangers call the Skyship and form the legendary Megazord, striking Invidious with their blades, before forming the legendary Samurai Megazord, finishing him off with the Fire Smasher and sending him into space. Invidious crashes into the main ship and staggers into the bridge, telling Levira that he's ready for their date, but she says she doesn't date losers, the love potion seeming to have worn off. Troy, Jake, Emma, and Gia in the meantime walk into Ernie's and talk about the craziness of the day, with Emma telling Jake that he made asking someone out sound so easy and that maybe he should take his own advice. Jake then tries to ask Gia out on a date, but before he can get the words out, Noah interrupts, saying that the video he took of Jake on the soccer field went viral, and the episode ends with the group watching the video as Jake and Gia share a quick glance. Now, watching the first part of this episode, I was actually really enjoying it. While the plot seems very been there done that, especially when it comes to Power Rangers, I absolutely loved the absurdity of what was going on. Seriously, the things that happen in this episode are so crazy that it almost reaches the point of parody, and because of that, I was willing to forgive some of the sillier moments of this episode. And then this happened.
I'm not your love. I like someone else. Sorry.
We all know who that is.
And it was this scene that showed me how much of a colossal fail this whole episode was. For an episode called Love is in the Air, it should have focused on the growing relationship between Jake and Gia, ending with them getting together at the end, but instead it focuses on the relationship with a one-off monster and Levira, while the audience is meant to laugh at Jake's predicament. And because Levira is under the influence of a love potion through most of the episode, it really diminishes her as a legitimate threat against the Rangers. Every time she was on screen, I just kept thinking about how much of a better villain Metal Alice was. Invidious is also nothing short of pathetic, since he describes himself himself as a lover, not a fighter, even to the point where the Rangers just watch him run off when he retreats. And because the Rangers don't see either one of these two villains as an actual threat against the planet, they spend a good portion of this episode just watching the two fight over Jake. Another glaring problem that is persistent throughout the episode is that Orion isn't even so much as mentioned at all. Now, it was okay last season to have Robo Knight absent in some episodes since he insisted on working alone, but here Orion is more than happy to join the team in fighting the Armada, so his absence is all the more noticeable. Overall, while this episode doesn't have as many problems as Silver Lining Part 1, it still completely wastes the potential of developing Jake and Gia's relationship, which to a longtime viewer like myself just feels like a huge slap in the face. Top that off with weak villains and a plot that has been done to death even by past Power Ranger seasons, and you get a pretty terrible episode. I'm Nick, aka IronBat1993, and may the power protect you.